Wait, what am I saying?
Welcome to another edition of Over Par and Underqualified. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Business Ideas. I'm Anna Moore.
And I'm Hannah Atkins. And today on Over Par and Underqualified, we're joined by a powerhouse in the women's golf and endurance sports, Katie Griffiths, founder of Seven Birdies Co., a brand built on the mission to empower women to learn, play, and thrive in golf. Her energy is infectious, her drive is relentless, and her impact on the game is undeniable. Originally from Canada and now thriving in Arizona, Katie is an Ironman athlete with grit and heart. Having earned a spot at the Ironman World Championships in Spain later this year, she's someone who doesn't just chase finish lines, she redefines them. Most recently, she brought the passion to Women's Golf Day event at Dobson Ranch, hosted by Natalie Frahani. Whether she's competing in Ironman, mentoring women in golf, or building a community through Seven Birdies, Katie continues to raise the bar, and we're so excited to have her on. Katie, thank you for being with us today, and let's dive in.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Tell us about Seven Birdies. How did you get into the game of golf?
Yeah.
And I want to know everything.
Yeah, the whole journey.
I'll take it back to where we started with golf. So I grew up, like we said, in Canada. I grew up actually playing hockey, not golf. I did not have a passion for golf for a long time. My dad being like, hey, there's a lot of opportunities in golf for females, so you're going to do this too. I'm not going to lie, I thought it was boring as shit when I started.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was so boring. I was like, I have to walk for 4.5 hours and swing a stick and not talk to people.
Swing a stick. I love it.
That was my mindset when I started golfing. But as a kid, like growing up playing hockey, I hit the ball further than most of the other girls. I just found it boring. But it took me on to a Division I scholarship out of high school, and I went down to Mississippi for that. Still didn't love the game, but was like, hey, it's going to take me some cool places. So, studied kines in school and then took some time off of golf and went fully into the fitness side of using my kines and different passions I had. And COVID happened and started golfing again, and golf was cool again. Or actually not cool again. It was cool for the first time. And then I was like, let's go. There's something here. And moved down to Arizona. And that's a crazy story. Kind of came down and didn't go back. And that's right when we first met, Hannah. And here we are, like 5 years later.
Yes.
You guys get rid of me yet?
Yeah, exactly. Katie and I met through Mary Driscoll. We played golf, and we reconnected this year. Also, again, playing golf. But Katie is doing amazing things. Tell us a little bit about your company and how it started.
Yeah, so Seven Birdies actually started kind of as like a pain cream. So it started as a pain cream due to an injury that I had and was created around that. And I started building the brand. And then I was doing charity golf events, so where a pro goes out and we fundraise for different charities. And what I realized is that the majority of these charity events don't have a lot of females out at them. You're looking at 95% or more being males. So I kind of did, as I was traveling for the events, I'm like, okay, I'm going to ask the females that are out here, like how long they've played, like how they feel being at events, and then like volunteers on my holes, different stuff like that, just to kind of see where majority of women's mindset were around being out on the golf course for these events. And I got a lot of the same kind of things, like I'm terrified to be out here. This is new to me. This is scary. I'm scared of I'm with people that I work with, and I'm scared what they're going to think if I mishit it. And the volunteers on the hole was like, oh, I've only hit it like top golfer on the range. Like I could never be out here. And I realized like a lot of women are missing out on business opportunities. They're missing out on, these charity scrambles, all these different things, networking events because they don't golf. So that kind of made me look at my company and take kind of a step back and be like, as much as I love the pain cream side of it, I think Seven Birdies could have a lot bigger mission, and that would be female pros helping more females get into the game. So that's when we kind of made a big shift and brought Mary on board as well with all of her coaching experience, and brought my sister on board to do the organization stuff because I have a busy schedule and my brain doesn't always like to work in, an ABC kind of way. It's more of a million different things ADHD kind of brain. So Meg brings it all in together and keeps it organized, and Yeah, have launched our first couple schools and we got good feedback. The ladies that were in it were aligned with the mission that we're doing, and we're just trying to grow it bigger and bigger and get more awesome female coaches and awesome females into the game.
I love that. And we talked on our first episode about the top 100 women on the Forbes list, right, Anna, that were contributing to $33 billion. Is that correct as the
Yes.
number?
Yeah, and I think they were like had influence over about 120 million individuals like in business.
It's absolutely crazy how awesome women are doing in just the world in general, let alone business. But to have something like Seven Birdies empower women to use all assets, including the golf course, in business, I think is such a cool aspect that you guys have taken, and something that really needs to be taken advantage of a lot more. So I think you guys are doing amazing things out there. It's exciting to see the movement of women's golf, and just the impact that it truly has.
Yeah, and like we'll talk about Women's Golf Day, but it was like a prime example right there to see 250 female golfers come out to a golf course and, hit on the range and be interested and like just have that safe space. And Natalie talked about it in her speech and she just like nailed it when she's like, golf's inclusive and we're going to make it inclusive. It doesn't always have to be a female event for you guys to show up. Like there's space for you here. And when she
Right.
said that, I was just like, okay, let me go cry for a second. But like that's just how I feel. It's like I want to create that space and we want to create that space for women that's like this is a safe space to learn what's looked at as like an intimidating game. So if we
Right.
can keep creating that space and building that confidence with them, it's like they're going to go to these scrambles and plus they're 150 yards above like they're going to outdrive the men by just going to their tee like
Exactly.
you're fine, I promise you. Please
Exactly.
sit on the tee box, like I promise you you're good. I've
We
seen
were
it.
Exactly.
we were talking about that right before you jumped on. Like I think
Yeah.
a lot of women feel like they don't hit the ball far enough. A lot of older men don't hit it much farther than 175 yards. Like 200 yards is a good drive, and they're starting off farther in front, so they should absolutely be in on these scrambles and stuff.
Exactly. And like just even changing the mindset of like you're not coming out to try to hit every shot perfect, like
Yeah.
it's a team event. And I'm like the guys are not going to hit perfect shots either. You're going to see them chunk it. You're going to see them hit it in the water, in the trees, like all these different things. They just seem to care a lot less than the females do on the course. Like we need to
Absolutely.
come in with that same ego and confidence that these men who think they're like, a +3 handicap and they're not. have,
Right.
right? Like we just got to find that within our female group.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And the business that they're able to make out on the golf course, because essentially there's not very many sports out there that you can conversate and be with someone for 4 hours. Let's just say 4 hours on an average. There's a lot of connection that can be done on the golf course just because you're basically stuck with someone for that amount of time, and you really learn about their family if you want to get into details about that, or there's just so much more time than in a business meeting, which is typically like an hour or so long.
And even at these charity events, like you have different sponsors on different holes and booths and things set up. Like it's consistently a networking event when they're at these. And if they're not showing up to them and not doing them, like you said, you're missing out on maybe 4.5 hours with coworkers, bosses, networking. Like it is hindering to some extent their career because they don't golf.
Right.
So just being able to tell the ladies that and then give them the tools to overcome that like fear. It's a fear that we hear majority of the time is like I'm scared. So if we can
Absolutely.
overcome that like fear factor of it and be like, no, this is fun. It's a silly game. Like we hit crappy shots. Like I say all the time, like we're only pros because we've hit a lot of crappy shots. Like
Right. Exactly.
and, like I've been a ton of times golfing. I promise you, like you're fine. So it's just like, reiterating that to beginner golfers, like it's not necessarily an easy sport and you're gonna hit good ones, you're gonna hit bad ones, and the good ones keep you coming back.
I mean, even
Exactly.
the pros, like that, they're not hitting great shots every single week. Otherwise, we'd all be either on the tour or the tour wouldn't even exist. It's
Yeah.
it's part of the game.
Sometimes
At
it's
Max
just like,
Homa.
how bad can I hit it and get away with it?
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
what I like to say.
Exactly.
Like, how crappy can I hit the ball and still be okay? I'm like,
Game
oh,
of misses.
Yeah.
yeah, literally. I'm like, oh, that's good enough. That's like my new favorite saying on the golf course. Good enough. It's not OB. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey,
It's in
scorecard
play.
doesn't have pictures.
100%.
No, it does not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I also think that going back to like the networking thing, you learn a lot about a person, like I said before, but also how they manage stress or like a bad shot, how they take the approach of, the mindset of it. Like, do they get really frustrated? Are they hot-headed? Like, you learn so much just from body language or, the intricacies of just dealing with a bad shot or even a good shot. Like, how excited do they get?
The golf course.
Yes.
Man, sometimes too much.
Yeah,
Great way to interview people.
or first dates, like, hey,
First
like,
date.
see how this okay, that's a hard no. You're that mad over this.
Yeah, let's start off with the driving range for dates first, and then we'll get stuck with them for 4 hours later on.
Yeah, you don't want to dive into a 5-hour round and be like,
No.
oh,
Dude, I was playing with this with a previous company that I worked for, and we had this dude that joined on just as a single, and we got to the sixth hole. All three of us were having just a blast. We're listening to music, joking around, and he just didn't quite fit the vibe, which is fine, that's great. But he was like randomly got a call that his water heater broke and like left and just like left us on like hole 4, whatever, I don't know. But it was just like, okay, we're moving on.
I think that's also like such a big thing that we see in golf that like we're trying to kind of break that stereotype is like if you're not playing professionally, like just ease up a little bit. Like nobody, if you're out having fun and the vibes are good and you have a shitty lie, bump the ball. Like
Yeah.
I say it to my friends all the time. They're like, "No, I gotta play it as I lie." I'm like, "You're not going for tour." I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm bumping the ball. I'm not going for tour. Like, if I'm gonna go out and golf, I'm gonna make sure I have a nice lie. Like, I understand
Right.
that if you're playing in something like member guest or things like that, like obviously there's rules. But like if you're just going out and trying to enjoy and you're working on something with your swing, like I don't know. I think people get so caught up on like, oh, there's such strict rules in golf, and it doesn't have to be that way. Like, make it fun first so that you enjoy it.
Absolutely. And golf clubs are expensive, and golf here in Arizona isn't as forgiving as, something else.
Yeah.
Off the fairway is rocks. We all have that rock club and snakes. Yeah, good point. But yeah, just make it fun, make it easy on yourself, and, make sure that you come back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
Well, so you touched on Women's Golf Day. I'd love to get into some of that, and then I'd love to hear about your journey with, you talked about being in fitness and all of that stuff and where that's taken you for your next step.
Yeah. So Women's Golf Day was amazing. Coach Nat puts on, like, what she's doing in women's golf is unmatched. It's unbelievable. Like, yeah, it's seeing all those women out there and like the community she built and all like the brands coming together and even a lot of like the women's brands out there, there's a lot of competition. If you look at like business to business, there'd be a lot of competition out there. Yeah, like we can all come together with this same purpose and this big mission and reason to be there and just like have a great time and support each other. And it's like you don't always see that in business, especially when it comes to competing brands. But like it's like, hey, we're doing the same thing. Like, let's partner up and do a collab on something. And I thought that was just really cool to see because maybe it's me being in the fitness world for so long. That doesn't happen as often.
Yeah.
It's more
Yeah.
like, no, this is my space. Like, get out of here. You can kind of see a lot of that, but like, it was just so inclusive, both from the business side and from like having the women in and come in and hit golf balls and just be around this awesome environment for the day. So,
Yeah.
oh, it was super cool.
Nice. I just love the vibe that Dobson and other places like Bel Air
Yeah.
or something like that has brought to the game, or even grass clippings. I know we touched a little bit about that in
Those
the
are all our
last
venues for
episode.
Seven Birdies, so let's go.
I love it.
The Bel Air, Dobson, grass clippings. Yeah, like those are.
I'll send you my invoice for the promo.
Yeah, thank you for the promo. Yeah, didn't you?
Yeah.
They are like, and that's why we run them there because it's like, again, it's inclusive, it's fun. There's lights, there's music. Like, we don't need to be on. Nothing wrong with a country club style range, but like that's just not who we're serving at this point.
Right.
So yeah, let's keep it fun, keep it vibey.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and just the overall movement of golf, I think, like to your point earlier, is just way more inclusive, and it's so exciting to see where the potential of golf has to go. Like, I feel like we're just getting started, and like it kind of started with Top Golf, I would say, in my eyes, of being kind of a more casual, just come here to have fun. It doesn't need to be as serious. And then with grass clippings and the other two opening up, I'm so excited for how casual golf is being and where it has to go. With the women's golf day, they basically had like a range session with other brands out there, and you said like 150 plus women of all skill types going out there. And that was May 30th, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, so they actually had 250 women at this one. Yeah,
That is
That's
the
awesome.
insane.
one that they're doing in California sold out at 150, and Dobson could hold more, so there was
That makes
250
sense.
tickets sold,
That is
which was
insane.
insane. So yeah, they had everything out there. Like TJ Sport clothing was out there, Bad Birdie was out there, just like a bunch of different vendors. And then we had a spot on the range where one of our pros was giving tips. We ran a long drive competition. We dropped a new line of merch. Our Hot Girl Golf
Eee,
Club launched. So
I love that.
that
I need
went
to go buy a
that went,
shirt.
I got you. I got you guys. But that went hot. Like, yeah, the Hot Girl Golf Club. Yeah, I was like, let's go.
That's awesome.
Um,
I I can't wait to show up to one of those ranges and just see all the girls repping Seven
oh,
Birdies.
yeah,
Yes.
that dream.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, it was cool to have like that drop. We do pause our schools for the summer, just because we're
Fair.
traveling for charity events and it's hot. But we just had a lot of interest in like when we start up again, women wanting to do like even ideas of, hey, like, can you run a women's league? Can you do this? Can you do that? And we're like, yes, like we just again want to build this awesome community and we want to like tell us what you ladies need for this safe space of golf and like let's see if we can provide that. So we got like
Absolutely.
a lot of cool conversations around that, which was really exciting for us, and a lot of
I
interest in what we were doing.
Absolutely. No, you guys are on such an awesome path, and I think it's truly at the perfect time in just golf in general that you guys are really making a movement with, Coach Nat's help with growing the game in that aspect. We talked a little bit on the last pod as well about how challenging it can be with finding people, either your own skill set or just finding women in the game of golf, because we don't necessarily, to your point earlier, fill up that space. It's a little intimidating when you see, either someone better or even someone just getting into the game of golf and trying to collaborate and get together to play. I think having more spaces and opportunities like that is so helpful. It's really hard to do in that aspect.
Yeah, like with our program, so our Golf Girl Universities are like 4 week program that we run, and we have different levels. So we did classic like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior,
I love
and
it.
our goal with that is like have the communities in each of those levels that girls, no matter if they're at Dobson or if they're at Bel Air or where they are, they're in like a circle group chat, and they can go, hey, I'm playing 9 holes at this course. Like, who in this level's in and wants to join? Right? And just be able to like kind of create that community in that space where, the coach, even when we're not involved, they can still be involved. And we saw that like in our first schools is like on Instagram, we'd see 4 girls from the school going out and playing 9 holes and they booked the last tee time of the day because that's what we told them to do because they want to take their time and hit extra shots and they booked the last tee time of the day and you get pictures up on Instagram of these 4 girls playing and like we didn't organize it, we didn't plan it, like they did that. They didn't even know how to book a tea time before and now they have the tools to like, hey, this is how I book a tea time, this is how I check in, this is how I warm up. Like just being able to provide these tools and this information that we might all find very like we've done it for so long. We don't,
Normal.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But it's like taking our brain back to like that very first time going to the golf course and like trying to picture what it would look like. And I can understand why it would look intimidating. But
Right,
yeah, like
right.
just like you said, having those different levels and like having those spaces for the ladies to be like, hey, we're all beginners. Like we're gonna go out and chip and putt, and we're gonna work on these things that we learned at golf school. And just keep trying to create that space for these ladies.
That makes me smile so much because you brought up a really good point that I hadn't really thought of for a new golfer. all of us kind of had someone to get us into the game of golf,
Mhm.
whether it's a parent or, some type of association that you got into. But you're right, like being at our age, getting into a brand new sport, very intimidating. And to your point, booking your first tee time, like how do you even do that? Going into the golf shop and like not knowing the terms to use, I could understand how that could be very scary.
So the thing that I refer it to, and that was huge eye opener for me, is when I started triathlon and I started swimming. And like when you're late 20s and you like I knew how to swim, but like lane swimming, I've never done that before. So I
Yeah.
went to a master swim club when I first started because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And they have a whiteboard with all of these things up there, and I was like, I don't know what anything means. I'm like, we got pole, we got, flipper, like we got buoy, we have these numbers, we have these splits, and I'm like, holy, I was like, all I know is put my goggles on and get in the water, and like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. And like, even from like the side of understanding what the workout is, understanding what the coach is saying, like we're going on the top of this. I'm like, the top of what? They're like the top of the minute. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But
Right.
like I was I never grew up around a swimming environment in that way, and I was like, this is what golfers feel like.
Hmm.
Like they don't know what a par is. They don't know it was mind blowing to me. I was like, oh, this is
I
like the
get it.
type of brain I need to have when I'm building my freshman and sophomore programs because that's how they feel. And like to
Hmm.
put myself in that position of how that feels, I'm like, okay, like I honestly felt dumb when I was like, we're going at the top of what? And they're like the top of the minute. And I was like, got it. Yeah.
It's like we're swimming. How am I swimming on top?
Top of the water. And I'm like, well, because I
I,
swam like
I
this.
I haven't unlocked that superpower yet. I
No,
don't know
no,
how to do that.
my legs are so heavy from hockey. Like those are things are not on top of the water. It's literally like how much drag can you have swimming? Because I have all of it. But yeah, so it just like made me realize that like that's where these ladies are at, and we need to coach and we need to adjust the program to make sure that they're not feeling dumb or anything when they're asking questions. Like there's no stupid question. What you don't know, you don't know. And I try to take
That's a good
that
point.
into every single like beginner lesson is like ask me anything. Because like we'll even talk, we'll be like, oh, the club face or the grooves, and they're like, what are
Hmm.
grooves? I try to note all of those things down because yeah, it takes us back to that level of like on the top of what. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But that's been a big learning experience as a coach.
And with Seven Birdies, do you give them items to like kind of take home, homework types of stuff? Talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, so we do booklets. And in the booklets, we have like the 4 weeks planned out. They get the booklet at the beginning of it. It goes through the information we talked about so that they have it when they leave. And then we have drills in there as well too. The drills we do at the end of the lesson so that if they do want to practice throughout the week, they have some things to practice. And they're very simple, like freshmen, we're talking about, straight arms through the ball.
Hmm.
I coached kids. I was like, monkey arms through the ball, not T-Rex arms. Say stuff like that, and people don't forget, right? It's like
Yeah.
Hmm.
on the extension through. So we give them stuff like that. We also do create a group chat with the coach. So if they do go out and practice and they take a video and they're like, can you help me with this? Like we have that feedback as well too, because like we want our program not just to be like, this is how you hold the club go. Right? Like we want it to be like this has the bones of what needs to be taught, but we also need to adapt and make it individual in different ways as well too. And I kind of took my experience as a fitness coach and like what I would do in group fitness and strength training, even if I had 4 people and I had the program built out, there's still different tidbits for each person that needs to be done. So I tried to take that kind of same mentality into the golf school as well.
That's
I
such a
love that.
unique approach too. I feel like as golf instructors, so many people get like kind of pigeonholed into this is my plan and this is what I'm sticking to. And I may tell this person like one thing for a minute, but I'm still sticking to the plan. So being
Yeah.
able to kind of vary it per person and change the plan is very impressive. That's different, I think, than almost any instructor.
I love to hear that. Yeah, because I don't know, in my head, it's every person's going to swing a little bit different. Everyone's going to have a little bit, as same as lifting weights. People are going to come in with different habits. They're like their
Hmm.
bodies are different. They're going to lift different. They're going to move different. I got to figure out a way that makes it safe, effective, and beneficial. And
Absolutely.
able to look at that and make those adjustments. And also, there's a whole other side of like how people learn. I could tell one person something and they're going to pick up on that, but if they don't see it, they're not going to be able to do it. So
Hmm.
like that's one question we ask in our questionnaire is like, what type of learner are you? So our coach goes in and they're like, hey, I know that Susan is a visual learner, so when I'm helping Susan, I'm gonna make sure that I demo and I show her.
Yeah.
Um, so just different things like that. Again, that we try to, do that one step a little bit further and a little bit better just to make sure that, they're not just showing up for like a women's wine and dine, even though those are fun. Nine and dine. Yeah, that's what those kind
Mhm.
like those are fun,
Wind and
but we
done.
also want to make sure that, they're paying to get better. We want them to be better and then have the confidence and, make it fun, but also make sure that they're improving.
So someone like looking to get involved in this, what does that process look like? Do they fill out an application online? They fill out your questionnaires, you get them into a class, do they pick a class? What does that process look like?
Yeah, so right now we have the questionnaires online. They would fill that out and then we'd contact them to kind of see like what level they feel like they'd go into. With it being our off season right now, we don't have the schedule like posted exactly. So
Hmm.
we kind of see like what location they're at, our area that they're at, what level they're at. We will have all of our like fall classes probably posted end of next month and people could jump right online, fill out. We're gonna have like a little questionnaire so that it like emails them, hey, this is what level that we suggest that you start at,
Okay.
and be able to like have them kind of lock in from there as well too. But on our website, we do have a form that ladies can fill out. Me or Megs will reach out to them accordingly and just have a conversation with them. We want to see where they're at and what they want to do and why golf's important to them and see if they're a fit for what we do.
Do you see a lot of repeat, like people who graduate through the whole program?
Yeah, and we see a lot of ladies too that they'll do like the freshman program and they're very new to the game and they'll go through the freshman program 2 times or 3 times. Like the information, yes, the bones of it's the same, but how many times do we learn something in 90 minutes and then by the time we get home we're like, I picked up the brain can process 3 things at a time.
Exactly.
And you look at a golf lesson and we're talking about 3 things and or we're talking about more than 3 things, they pick up three and they take home like there's still a lot of information from that first lesson that they can take away by doing it again. So we have those conversations with them. It's like, hey, if you want to jump up to the next level, like you're more than welcome to. If you don't feel like you're there yet, like this is also a great place to be. And kind of work them through those different areas. But yeah, we've had a lot of ladies off of our like we've had ladies that started in January that were in our program all the way through to the end of this month. So it's cool to see those repeats and they kind of become our OGs and our fans for fans for the business. And I love the super fans. They they talk a lot of good things and they come in and they're just like it's cool too because then you have the new girls that come in, then somebody that's already been there and they're like, yeah, like I already went through this and it was awesome and it was great and I learned all this and they just kind of bring that cool, fun vibe. Like, hey, I've been here and I'm excited to be here again.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to go back to Hannah kind of mentioned. Tell us about your fitness journey and how you got involved in the races and all of that and your work as a fitness instructor.
Yeah, so I took kinesiology in school. I always had a huge passion for fitness, and it started like at a young age playing hockey when we did dryland. I thought dryland was the coolest thing. I thought the trainers at dryland were the coolest people in the world. Like they had coach on the back of their shirt. I'm like, that's me one day. People are so cool. So that's where it started. I took theology in school and realized when you take kines in school, unless you do a master's, you literally have a personal training certification. So that was, but it was fun. It was fun, and I learned a lot of cool things. And I got to play golf. So after university, I fully stopped golf, started working in a gym, and I actually have a really funky story with fitness. So I went into bodybuilding originally, and I competed in women's figure bodybuilding up to the Arnold stage. So like a international stage. I'll drop you guys some pictures.
Wait, yeah, we'll put it right here.
Literally, here it is. And people are like, "That's not Katie." I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
yeah. So that was like competed for 3 years, built my way like won provincials, which would be like or sorry, would be like state here, and then placed at nationals and got to come down to the states and compete. So that was super cool. Being able to sustain that long term I didn't think that was what I wanted to do. So once I stopped that, I got into CrossFit. I competed up to like a regional level in CrossFit. went to golf, did the long drive, and once I stopped competing long drive and competing WAPT, I was like, I just need something in fitness again. I started running for fun while I was traveling for charity events because Hilton gyms weren't doing it for me anymore. And I was
You're
like,
not great.
I'm in and out in like, 24 to 48 hours. Like, what can I do to see this city? And I'm like, well, I can run. So I was like,
Hmm.
I guess I'll start doing that. And I honestly never thought I'd like running. And then here we are. Um, my partner that I started talking to at the time was like, "Oh, you're a runner," and I was like, "No, like no, I'm not in it. No, really a year later, I'm doing 70.3. So I was like, well, that escalated really fast.
That's an insane timeline.
Yeah, and it was literally just like, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do one race. And then I finished one race. I'm like, so I already signed up for the next.
Yeah.
And I signed up for the next. But I think it's just like, for me, it's the discipline, it's the seeing what your body's capable of doing. And in
Mhm.
endurance, you really get to see that and test that. I think it's so cool. Like we joked around about the pool when I started, like I could do 25, 50 meters. And now it's like I go and, the swims for the races are 1.9 kilometers. And like when I go and swim, I do 500-meter warm-up sets. And I'm like, I couldn't even do 50 meters to start. And now I swim 500-meter warm-up sets. Like, what? Same thing
Yeah.
as running. When I started running, I like 3 to 5 kilometers and I was like, I'm gassed, I'm good. And like on the weekend, I go and run 21 kilometers in the morning. And I just like, that's just what your body, and again, that takes time to get to that level, but it's so cool to look back and be like, hey, if you do this consistently and you build up consistently, like your body's capable of all of these things that sometimes we don't realize what it's capable of.
Hmm.
And just being able to see that and prove that to myself. And I'm a huge optimistic person that I'm like, I can do that. Like, even though sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I should just go around saying I can do that, but my family jokes around and they're like, if someone's gonna figure it out, it's Katie. Like she's just gonna say yes and do it. So here we are.
I truly wake up and this is a bad habit, but like go on Instagram and then I'll look for Katie's like story, either of like the previous day or like what she's already done as I'm like peeling my face off the pillow. And she's like already done with like 150 miles on a bike and I'm just like I feel good about myself. I really need to get up and start doing something.
So what I've been trying to do with like posting more on that is like I am actually going to launch a fundraiser for Worlds and I want to kind of track like the miles that I'm doing and um we could talk a little bit about this too because it's
Yeah.
a launch if that's cool.
Yeah. Get
Yeah.
Um
into it.
so long story short, I lost a friend to suicide 5 years ago and it's coming up on the 20th and realized that I want to race for something more than just to race. So I'm launching a suicide awareness, partnering up with two different organizations, one in Canada and one in the States, to raise money for suicide. So all of those stories and
Wow.
stuff like that is going to be like a documentary going into Worlds, and like we're going to do Miles for Mental Health is what it's going to be called, and
I love
gonna
that.
have
Amazing.
like different ways to fundraise money for mental health and just kind of make racing more than just a finish line and something to do. Try to make an impact with it as well too. So yeah, that's kind of
That
where
is
I'm
so
trying to
cool.
get into the habit of like posting more stories and stuff because start the 20th, like this is all gonna roll out and we're gonna have like a bunch of different things and the whole kind of journey to Worlds and raising for mental health. But yeah, that's kind of where all the stories are coming from. So let's go.
That's so cool. Well, they're
Amazing.
already inspirational. Let
Thank
me
you.
tell you that.
Thank
If no one else has told you,
you.
they inspire me. So
Thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you. Hey, if I inspire one person from my crazy Instagram stories, let's go. I'm all for it. I love it. I love it.
Dude. All right, so where will that be launched and where can people find it?
So it's going to be launched on Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, we're going to launch it there. We're going to have a GoFundMe page. I am going to partner up with two different golf tournaments. One will be in Canada and one's actually going to be out east. And we're going to partner up with their golf tournaments. I'm going to do the same fundraising that we always do with full proceeds going right towards the miles for mental health and towards, again, their organization. So it's two that I'm partnered up with. We have a bike shop that's looking at doing like a donation raffle draw. I'm going to try to reach out to a couple different supplement companies to put something together that we can do some different draws and again just get people get the awareness out there.
I
We
love
all
that.
know that we live in a day and age that mental health is looked at a lot more and a lot more important. Not saying that it wasn't important before, but people actually understand the importance of it now. And just keep trying to move that marker and get more people on board with it.
And for
Yeah,
those that want to either reach out and help contribute to it or follow your journey and all of that stuff, where can they find you on Instagram
Yeah,
and Seven
Instagram,
Birdies?
Katie Griffiths. I had to think about that.
We'll put it on the screen.
Perfect. Yeah.
Right.
Here's a body building picture. Here's Katie Griffiths. It's not the same anymore.
Careful what you ask for.
she will do it.
Well,
Katie, where out east are you going to be for the tournament?
Pennsylvania, I believe.
Where?
I'd have to give you the.
Sorry.
My school is literally like when it pops up, I show up.
Fair enough.
I'll give you guys the direct,
Yeah.
the information, the date, and all that stuff.
Perfect.
But yeah,
Awesome.
and then
I'm
I do.
located out east and I went to school in Pennsylvania. That's why I ask.
Okay, yeah, well, I'll shoot it over to you once I have the course and everything.
Sweet.
And then if anyone's up in Canada, that one's in August in Red Deer, good old Red Deer, Alberta, my hometown. So
Hey, yeah, bringing it
Awesome.
back home.
bringing it back home.
You're just crushing the Ironman world. You're crushing everything that you really touch. So thank you for being a part of this.
Yeah,
I know
thank
we
you so
have
much.
a ton more stuff that we wanted to touch on. Anna, did you want to jump into the next thing?
Yeah. So, let's see. What do we have here? I think one of the things Hannah had kind of put in our notes that would be really cool, I thought was very interesting, was some of the boutique golf shops that are popping up everywhere. I believe there's an Instagram account where she's come across these. But it's a lot of them, and I'll let you speak more on them specifically, Hannah, but a lot of them kind of combine like golf or just golf and something trendy or golf and coffee and clothing, and then give just a space for people to come, golfers to come hang out outside of just the golf course. Hannah, I'll let you get into that a little bit more, but
Yeah. Well, so a good segue from Seven Birdies because they're putting out some really cool merch. And on their Instagram page, if you haven't already followed them, I believe it's at Seven Birdies Co. We'll put it up here for you guys to follow along all of their journeys and to sign up as well. But with some of the locations that we've touched on already, like Dobson or Grass Clippings, they have all these cool boutique, kind of like golf boutiques popping up. And a couple of them, we'll put what they actually look like on the screen. Birdies and Lattes from Edison, New Jersey. It's like a golf store and coffee shop put together. It's like the two favorite things of mine. And it really just pays homage to the growth of the game. You know, it's just that much more casual. I mean, a lot of men or women, I guess, too, can wear just a polo and the golf skirt just really anywhere, to the grocery store. It's way more casual. The areas that, Seven Birdies is practicing at, or some more casual public courses are now accepting, t-shirts, and it's becoming a lot more accepted in that sense. And there's one in Gilbert, Arizona as well called Manor Phoenix. And it's really interesting how they are introducing new golf clothing within the golf space. But I want to go to all of these. And Katie, if you're in any of these areas, we'll share the list with you. But you should take some pics there if you're nearby.
That would be awesome. The whole lattes and golf. Like,
Right?
that's a great
Cap-
idea.
Yeah.
anything's a vibe, but
Yes.
golf, let's go.
Yeah, so we'll put all of that stuff up there. Katie, I'll send you this list right now, just in case you have a charity tournament nearby. But one of the other things was this past weekend was U.S. Women's Open. Crazy turn there. Day one, they had what I think is like such a power group, and I think it brought a lot of eyes to the U.S. Women's Open. And that was Nelly Corda, Lexi Thompson and Charlie Hull all playing together, which I think are kind of the top names. Lexi Thompson, obviously being on tour for a length of time. Nelly, who's just been absolutely crushing the scoreboard. And then Charlie Hull, who has kind of been in the media recently for her smoking cigarettes and just being a part of Malbon and some yeah, high rocks and like bringing fitness into it.
Her fitness movement in the golf space, amazing. I love it so much. I'm like, yes, go run 10 kilometers and then go play a golf round and kick ass. Like, love it.
I
Love it.
absolutely what a
Yes.
power group,
Yeah.
you know?
And
Oh,
smoke a dart
absolutely.
like that. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, I think she's kind of bringing that casual aspect of golf that's getting so popular into professional golf, which is awesome to see that in the pros as well as amateurs.
Absolutely.
I also love that as a female, she almost has like this no F's given mentality
100%.
where like even with the smoking darts, like the amount of backlash she got, and she's like, the guys do it all the time, like F off kind of
Yeah.
thing, and
Yeah.
like I can do what I want, and I just think it's so powerful to see like a female be able to do that, and be able to be like, I don't really care what the backlash is, like I do me, and bye. I play.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And I'm a professional golfer.
Yeah.
Like
So
that's so cool to
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm still waiting on potentially the first person to have like a full sleeve on the LPGA. I don't know if there's any like tattoo restrictions or anything like that. I know a lot of the players who played in the Olympics got the rings and stuff, but I want to see someone with like a full sleeve. So if anyone's on tour that's listening to this that's been questioning their tattoo decisions, just go for it because I want to see it.
Yeah,
Please.
well, that would be like a full arm sleeve and like a leg sleeve and just be like out there rocking it as a female.
Please. The
Charlie
world
Cole could
needs
pull it
it.
off.
Yeah. Corey, step up.
Yeah, if anyone
Smoking, we have something new for you to try.
Even more controversial, maybe, than the
Yes,
smoking.
okay. Let's move on to the next. We're done with the darts. Let's find something new. We got an
Save
idea.
your lungs.
Yeah. Save your lungs, get tattoos.
yeah, put that on a shirt, right?
They're right there.
Yeah, if anyone knows Charlie Hull, tag her.
Let's golf with her as well, please. Like,
Also,
let us
that.
join.
We'll get her on the pod.
Yeah.
That's my mission. A 2-minute segment, please. Give us some of your time.
Anything.
Anything.
Stop smoking. Get tattoos. Which, going back to the Women's Golf Day, they had a tattoo booth there, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
That's so cool.
Stetzel tattoos.
That is awesome. And they were like all golfer related tattoos that you could get just like super. I mean, I would assume they're like pretty small or something
Yeah.
like that
We're
just
gonna
for
have to do
time.
it with
But
our little birdie for 7 birdies.
it's like a birdie golf ball, right? Yeah. It's so cool.
It's so cool.
Did you
How
get one?
No, I didn't. I have enough.
How many people used the tattoo booth? Was it pretty popular?
I don't know. Honestly,
I think they were like I think Natalie put out like a wait list of like names that you could sign up for. So I would
Wow.
assume it was pretty popular.
That's pretty neat.
I don't know. But if anyone got a tattoo, tag us because I want to see it.
What is it? What's our
Bear
job?
with us.
Yeah.
I think there was like ear piercing as well too. I saw. Yeah.
This is just an awesome event.
Yeah.
I'm so sad I had to miss it, but I hope to be out there next year.
That-
And hopefully it's just bigger and better than it was already this
Join
year.
the Hot Girl Golf Club. We'll have a shirt.
Exactly. Another tattoo.
Right here.
Yes, I can't wait to rock that shirt.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Going back to the U.S. Women's Open, we talked about the day one group, but I sent Anna, and I could send it to you, Katie, if you wanted to watch it. But Maya, Maya Starks was the one who won the women's U.S. Women's Open. She is from Sweden, and this was her first major championship. She won it at 7 under. which blew my mind because Nelly Korda, who has been dominating the leaderboards recently, finished at tied for second. And to see someone fairly kind of a new name just dominate that tournament, I thought that was epic.
I thought it was so cool. Did you hear her interview at the end?
Yes.
Crazy.
When
Okay,
we're
so
like,
that's what I was
what
gonna
do you
say.
do with $2.5 million? She's like, maybe move out of my studio apartment. I'm like, I love that. Like how
Yes.
life changing that is for her. Like we all love Nelly, but like, how life changing it is for her to win it. I'm like, that I love that. I was so happy.
And the fact that
Absolutely.
when they asked her, she didn't even seem to know how much she won.
Yeah.
It was just all about the event for her and the competition and just being out there. And then she was like, oh, huh, I don't
Yeah.
know. It was just such a genuine reaction, and it was cool to see.
Yeah. I love it.
She then proceeded to talk about how it would be nice just to have that security. I think the purse was, I have in my notes, 2.4 million for the winner's check. And just to have the funds to get her to the next tournament, and not only do that, but to help her throughout, the season and just help her progress in her game. I'm excited to see where she goes.
Yeah.
It's got to be a huge pressure taken off her shoulders, just in the sense of like when you play mini tours and even if you're making cuts, you're barely going over even, right? Like and just the financial stress of playing the mini tours and working your way up to that point is like it's not for the faint of heart.
No.
No.
And like yeah, so it's yeah, it was so cool to see that reaction.
I hope to see her name way more often.
Oh yeah.
Just for that reaction that she had on the first video or at the end. Yeah, hope her the best. Let's see. The next thing, do you have anything else on the US Women's Open that you guys wanted to share? Or should we get into the next one?
The only other thing, I guess, the comment I had was I thought Lexi Thompson had retired. I thought last year she announced she was taking a step back. So to see her in the U.S. Open was really cool. That made me really happy because she's always been a favorite of mine.
For sure, for sure. And she's being with Puma, and I feel like Puma has been kind of a modern golf company, not only with, their equipment, but in like their design of their equipment hasn't always been traditional. But with their women's apparel and kind of pushing women's golf a little bit more than some, I guess you could argue that as well, but some other manufacturers. I love what she's done, and I'm glad that she was able to participate. I don't know if did she actually fully retire and then came back, or what's
Did too, so I was surprised
I'm Googling it.
Googling it, yeah. She said she was stepping away from full time at the end of the 2024 season. So maybe, that she'd still potentially playing a few events in 2025, but not a full time schedule.
Okay.
Oh. Lexi, what are you doing in your free time?
It says Thompson cited mental health issues and a wrist injury was factoring into her decision.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's been doing it. She's been on tour or playing professionally since she was, I think, 14. So it's
Yeah, she's
literally
been
been her
Wow.
entire life.
Wow. That's crazy. Imagine playing, well, I guess we've all kind of played for that long, but like
Not at
being
that
in
level.
that limelight, right, exactly. Being in at that level, the limelight, just the pressure and stuff, I guess goes back to your awareness with the Ironman and all the efforts that you guys are doing for that. Excited to see where that goes too. The mental state of golf is just so deep that like if you're not at your peak, like you're gonna get passed.
Well, I think the big thing with that in golf is just like the tiniest little mistakes are make and break it. Where like growing up, I had the hardest time playing golf because when I played hockey, if you make a little mistake, you're just like right back on it and you can make up in no time. I'm like, I made one little mistake in golf and now I have like a 9 on a hole and I'm out of the tournament.
Yes.
Just like there's no room for like when you're at that level, there's not much room for error. And
Right.
like it's just yeah, it's hard mentally.
Yeah, you look at the top of the leaderboard and everyone's kind of within, 2-3 strokes is like a huge difference, you
Yeah.
know? and to stay with it that long, props to her. I'm glad she's taken some time and has realized that mental health is important and that she needs to focus on that and take some time for herself.
Golf will always be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, true.
It's not going anywhere.
No.
Yeah, yeah. And to like all of our cases, like trying to relearn the game of golf outside of a competitive aspect, I think it's a completely different mindset, obviously, being in a tournament rather than just being out with buddies, but being able to either turn that competitive aspect off and just have fun, or being able to find that competitive aspect in other ways through like skins games or something a little more casual than like having, you know, your mortgage or something like that on the line.
That's why I started Ironman. I'm like, I will golf.
Exactly.
Ironman, let's go. I was like,
You
I need to
could
put all
move
this,
the outlet.
all this juice needs to go somewhere, and it's not working in golf. So let's find 3 other sports to add on to.
Just 0 to 100,
Oh,
you know?
dude, that's me. I'm like, where's the deep end? Let me jump.
Dive head first.
Oh yeah, seriously, it's bad. But here we are. That's what I do. At least I know now.
So wait, we touched on that a little bit, but I want to hear how did you qualify for that? Like, was that always a goal of yours to qualify for something like that, or did you just kind of fall into the deep end with that too?
Well, I fell into the deep end by like going into 70.3s in like less than a year of starting triathlon. But my first race, I had no idea what to expect, and that was almost a year ago. It's coming up end of July. And so my first race, didn't know what to expect, trained hard for it, and I got like 5th. And I was like one spot off qualifying for, so I started with a sprint, and I won that, and then I won an Olympic distance. So that's how I was just like, oh, next, what's next? And then I took 5th, and I missed Worlds by one spot on my first 70.3, and I was like, oh, like I might kind of be okay at this. So I was like, maybe that should be a goal of mine, is to qualify for Worlds. And then I did Florida a couple months after, and I missed it by 2 spots there, and it was a little more competitive. So then when we did Oceanside, it was going to be the most competitive out of the 3 I did. And it's like, if we make it into Worlds, awesome, that's going to be our focus. And I'm like, if not, I'm going to go extra deep end and go into full Ironmans. We qualified for Worlds, and my mom was like, thank God, watching 4.5 hours is enough right now. Like, 5 hours is good. Like 12 hours that's a full-time job commitment.
That is
no, but like
absolutely.
my family's been super supportive, and like they show up to races and they cry at the finish line when I cry at the finish line. So it's just, you know, it's awesome. They're so supportive.
That's so cool to have that
really
support
cool.
system behind you, just cheering you on. I
Yeah.
love just like even your background right now, seeing all of the
Oh, yeah.
what are those called?
The bibs.
bibs.
The numbers,
Yeah.
bibs.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. What'd we name? Would you name it?
Oh.
Casper.
Yeah, this one's Casper. And
Nice.
then wait, we got, this is the race bike.
Oh, getting a little sneak peek, huh?
Sneak peek of
I
the
like
bikes. And my babies. Literally, when I take this is so bad, but when I took my bike home from the bike shop, I'm like, is this what parents feel like taking their baby home from the hospital the first time? Like, I drove so carefully. I'm like, I cannot get into an accident because my new bike's in the back. And I'm like,
100% yes.
I was like, wow. They say once you hit 30, you do like extreme endurance sport or you have kids. So again,
I guess endurance sport it is.
What goes on.
sorry, Mom, I'm gonna have to wait a little bit. Like, I'm not ready.
And then for others, it's taking up the game of golf and
Oh, yeah.
creating a new hobby, you know?
Definitely.
Man, that or bowling, like we
Or
talked about
sourdough.
before.
Sourdough's a big thing too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was big.
Sourdough and plants. I'm like,
I need to pick one of those two up. I kill every plant I get.
oh, no,
Like,
I could not do either of those. I just have
Can't keep a
friends
plant
that
alive.
do sourdough. One of our ladies in golf clinic does sourdough, and at the end brought us sourdough, and I'm like, perfect. I will buy this off of you.
the amount of ladies that,
Patience. Like, I burn chicken when I cook it. I cannot wait for sourdough to rise.
dude, I live off of ground turkey and microwavable rice. We're probably gonna cut that out. Honestly, I might
no,
leave it in
I do the
because it's
same
so
thing.
true.
Went to
But-
Costco and get the little packs. The little
Yes.
Costco packs of rice and then the pre-made chicken packs. I'm like, put those together and we got a meal. Like,
I know. We talk about having a kid. It's like, what am I supposed to feed it?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what?
Feed the kid the
It's not
microwave
supposed-
chicken.
we eat chicken.
Yeah. like they're not supposed to have water for like the first couple months. It's
Oh,
like
I
I
didn't
didn't know
know that.
that.
I didn't know that.
God, I'm not ready.
What do you mean your body can't like consume water? No, just kidding. But yeah, there's
Actually,
no
didn't
way I
know
could.
that. That's mind blowing.
Yeah,
They don't get
um,
dehydrated?
it's just milk.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna Google that because I feel like someone's gonna call me out and just
Might
be
be
like, "This
right.
person, she's so dumb. I stopped listening, blocked, canceled."
Like I know
All
you're
right,
not
talk
going to give
talk
a
amongst
baby a.
yourself.
Find something else to talk about.
No, I'm stuck on that.
You should just always keep ChatGPT up in one corner.
We should.
We need you.
ChatGPT should sponsor us.
ChatGPT is my best friend. I'm okay with it.
I saw this one post that was like, I'm just, instead of saying, yeah, I got this from ChatGPT, I'm gonna say, yeah, my uncle told me. And I was like, I might start saying
Yeah.
that.
I love that.
Drink.
There was a post like that, and I was like, I don't care if anyone looks through my Instagram messages, my text messages, but you're not looking at my ChatGPT. And I was like, facts.
100%.
Okay. Google has come through. It says it's generally not recommended to give water to babies younger than 6 months old. Breast milk or formula is sufficient for hydration. Babies get all the hydration they need from breast milk, which is 85% water. They have small stomachs. Risk of water intoxication. What? And the kidneys aren't fully developed. The
Okay.
more you know.
That's crazy.
All those new moms, stop giving him water.
Babies.
Oh my gosh. So take up golf.
Golf, bowling, power toe, just not babies. Like last option, last resort.
Yeah, if you're not athletic at all, try golf,
Maybe.
try bowling,
Yeah.
and then maybe baby.
Maybe baby. Last
Put that on a shirt. Maybe baby.
baby. When all else fails.
Then try that.
Baby. These are like the shirts that you find at like Goodwill where you're like, someone made this.
Yeah.
You know? Like you're like out thrifting and you like see a crazy shirt and you're like, someone took the time to make this. That's
Someone
gonna be
paid
it.
to
Maybe
design
baby.
that and put it on a shirt.
Yes, exactly. All right. The next thing we have, Anna, do you have anything specific that you wanted to get into? This list is very long.
This list is very long.
I love
and
it.
Yeah. I don't know that we need to cover all of it, but Hannah and I kind of got into this with the tees. Last week we talked about playing from different tees, and as we were getting ready for today, we were talking about, women always, we talked about last week, women a lot of times are intimidated playing a skins game or joining just a Saturday golf game with the guys and the tees they're playing from, and you don't necessarily always have to play from the women's tees. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but like it's intimidating to move back. A lot of the men playing back don't hit the ball that far. It's just your approach shot. And we were kind of looking into how you determine what tees you should play from. And one way to do that is you take your 5-iron average distance and you multiply it by 36. And I think a lot of people would be surprised at where that puts them on the course. I think it would put them potentially a lot farther back than they'd realize.
Absolutely. That and I guess the challenge for better golfers to move up. Like, there's an ego that, a level of ego that comes into, yeah, I played the tips and this is what I scored. But also, if you do play from the forward tees, like, it changes the entire course. So if you only have one course like nearby or something like that, and you're looking for ways to freshen it up or change up your game, practice different aspects of the game, move up or potentially move back. Like, you're not just set to one tee box.
Yeah, if there's 4 sets. Go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Katie.
Heard of Operation 36?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. Tell me about it.
They're really cool. 'Cause just like talking about tees is there's different programs that they run, but they'll start people up at like 100 yards out from the hole or even 75. And until they make par, they stay at 75 yards. And then once they make par or birdie, they move back to 100 yards. And then same thing. Once they make par or birdie, they move back to 150. But what it allows people to do, it allows people to get comfortable with scoring. Because there's another mental side that comes to it as well, too. It's like if you're over a birdie putt and you've never had a birdie before, like there's another mental side of the game that comes with that. But if you're doing, these rounds and it's again the last tee time of the day and you're getting comfortable, making pars and birdies from 150 yards in, when you have a par birdie putt on maybe a normal hole, like you've already had that before. It's nothing new. It's nothing. So there's like two sides. There's a mental side and then like, getting better with 150 yards and in, 100 yards and in.
Yeah.
I'd probably still be stuck at 75 yards,
Dude, me
honestly.
too. I hit the ball far and then I like went over the green.
Yeah.
I was the kid when we played like younger. I'd like drive the green and 5-putt and be like, here we go.
Me.
So at least we're all on the same page there. But yeah, I'm like, it's a really cool program and like they run it out at different courses. So if anybody who's on here is interested, I think they coach it and there's different like online programs that you can kind of pick up and learn yourself. But Operation 36, it's great. A lot of their stuff, like we try to take over into Seven Birdies.
Yeah, we might look into that for my property as well.
Yeah.
So
If you go to their website, I think you can find like the courses near you that do it, but it just takes one pro wanting to run the program and advertising it.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down right now.
Oh, I can send you a link too.
36. Got it. Perfect. Cool. Yeah, that's huge. Like, for a different company that I worked with previously, all the guys were so set on basically playing one step on. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically playing from the tips. You go to the back of the tee box and then you play one step on. Now, playing at courses like Quintero or something where there could be a whole hole in between the tee box and the fairway, it makes it super hard, but super fun. And it just changes the whole aspect of the course. The course that I work at, we have 4 tournament tee boxes that can stretch the tips out all the way back to 7,400 yards, which is fairly long. I mean, the average course is 7,200. But like, there's some holes where it's like, I didn't even know that a tee box was back there, but I'd probably shoot higher playing from the forward tees just because my short game isn't as strong. So if you're wanting to work out different aspects of your game, that's definitely a good way to do it. And I love that quick little conversion thing between the 5-iron times 36 or that Operation 36, in which case I am hitting from 75 yards.
We'll do it together. That'd be a really fun YouTube.
That would be a great YouTube.
Us to go from 75 to 150 yards.
There you go. It's no longer breaking 90, breaking 80. It's breaking 75, and it's not the score; it's the yardage.
Welcome. You're gonna be here for a while.
Get comfy.
This is a 5-part series.
Yes. Oh, I would love to make it just 5.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be an ongoing series. As Seven Birdies, this might be ignorant of me to ask, but have you guys started a YouTube channel and like, are you guys doing content through that, or are you just doing short stuff?
We're wanting to. We're just doing short stuff right now, but we definitely want to.
I love that.
Yeah, we're trying to. With my brain, I would want to do a million things at once, and I kind of do. But we're trying to. That's again where Megs comes in, and she was like, "Love it, put it on the board." Save it for a later date.
I really need someone like that in my life because Anna and I she texted me and she's like, hey, we should really do that podcast. And then we're like, okay, let's do it. And we're posting now. We're like, we don't know what we're doing, but we're doing it.
App when I'm like flying and the Wi-Fi is not working, I'll like type it brain dump and I'll like literally send a note to my sister and she's like, oh my God, okay, one sec. She's like, Let's break this down. Like even today, I think I sent her like a 5-page note of a brain dump for Seven Birdies, and she was like, "I love this, but we said we're focusing on this." I was like, "I know, that's why it's in a brain dump, but I needed to share my brain dump with you." And she's like, got it, noted.
Just needed to put it out there.
I needed to get it, put it into a note, and I had to share it with you because then I would just read the note, and that's not cool.
Hannah, you can tell me if I'm wrong.
And here it's 20 different places and you have it all.
Yes.
But yeah, I function the same as you guys, it sounds like.
At least you do it on a note. I use a voice note and I just like bomb Hana with voice notes that are like all over the place, and you just have to listen to it and try to get something out of it. So at least you're writing it out for her so she can see it and kind
I
of
used to
understand
do
it.
that. I used to do that. But then when people would send me voice notes, I wouldn't listen to them all. So I was like, I'm going to send voice notes and people aren't going to listen to them. So for some reason, I think they're going to read 5 pages over a voice note, which they're probably not going to do that either, but that's my logic.
I like
It
it.
really, the best part is that Anna's voice notes are like the podcast, where like you could just clip them all together and it would be a full podcast. And so, I'm on my little hot girl walk in the morning, walking my dog, and then just listening to all the voice notes that
I
she
love
sent
that.
throughout the day.
I love that.
We really do need someone with a little bit more organization in our lives.
Talk
So
to Megs.
Yes.
Megs got you. She's everybody's organization person.
Megs, you're hired. We
can't
haven't met
do
yet,
that.
but you're
We
hired.
want
Love
it.
She's fun.
Oh, maybe that's her next venture. I know she's Seven Birdies, but if if she started a business consulting firm or something like that.
Are you ADHD? I got you.
You have ideas but can't make them make sense. I got you.
Squirrel syndrome? Let's talk.
Okay, this is such a tangent, but I told Tommy that I was gonna bring it up, but I didn't know how, and this is kind of like the best segue ever. So we went to Second Swing just to hit golf balls and try some new clubs, whatever. And we're on our way back, and I don't remember what started it, but we just started listening to like late 90s, early 2000s commercials and like Floam and I don't know, like Betty Crocker baking sheets and stuff. They had such catchy tunes, and I feel like Megs could like really benefit from if she did start her own business to like going back to the early 2000s like commercials
Yes.
where everything was like 1995 and like 3 payments and then you get but wait, there's more and like all that stuff. So
It was
maybe
like
she might be onto
big
something.
boys that
Yes.
did. Yeah.
How did you just like YouTube?
Yes, Tommy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I was
So
like, you have these saved on Spotify? Like, I need more information on like
yeah,
they
I'll send you the playlist.
love the playlist of the commercials. I got it saved.
No, it's like a YouTube video and
Okay.
it's like 2000s nostalgic commercials. So if
Got
you
it.
ever want just a blast from the past, definitely look it up because it's actually it like I had a lot of those products and I realized how susceptible I am to just be like that's a great idea and like calling,
Calling the number.
Yeah, like all the chichias or chia pets
Yeah.
and yeah, highly recommend the video. Great watch. It filled up our like almost hour drive back to the Upper West Side. Yeah, that drive was filled with nostalgic commercials. So great
How?
watch.
How did you come across that?
The Upper West Side
No, the
or the.
I love that reply though.
yeah,
I
that,
need more context. Or the video.
the video.
Oh, Tommy looked it up. I think Tommy he was singing something. It was like he grew up in Tucson and he was trying to reference some light fixture company that had a commercial. And I was like, yeah, that's like kind of how you know who's from the valley, from like the Phoenix Valley is if they know the Shane Co.
Uh-huh.
Shane Co. commercial.
Business.
Yes, exactly. 1 mile south from Scottsdale Road in Tacoma, This is not an ad.
No, you have a friend in
So we just started looking those up and came across those like compilation videos and we listened to it the entire way back. Like that's it. No music, just commercial music. So if you're on a drive, look it up.
Great
Go
way to
download
time.
it.
Or on your morning hot
Link.
girl walk.
This link down here.
Exactly. You might be wondering why you ordered randomly some Betty Crocker baking pans, but
That's
you
discontinued.
know, as seen on TV.
I have to say,
93.
calling to order is insane. I cannot imagine
Okay, to
calling
think
to
that
order.
that's like the standard way of ordering
Yeah,
back then, like duh. But like Google didn't come out until like what, the early or the late 90s or
yeah,
early
late 90s.
2000s. And yeah, it's just calling. And it's like, you must be 18 years old or older to order. And how would they know that?
Who's
Imagine
verifying
being
that? Yeah.
What'd you say?
being on the other line of like the person that works there and be like, ha, our information got you. And let me take your debit or your credit card.
I I want to know where those callers or like the people that were in those call centers, where are they now? Like, do you have like a gambling issue now, or like where are you in life?
If you're listening to this podcast, let us know.
We'd love to have you on our next episode.
I don't know what made me think of that. Oh, Meg with her business.
Yeah.
Yeah, she needs a cool jingle.
Not yet, but that one
Or
for her on the pod.
dude, talking about the podcast, we got into talking about like different leagues that we could start and, just different business ideas. And we're like, we need to just kind of focus on this one first. And then with Kennedy, golfing with her so much recently, we've started Feral Golf, which is just kind of short film content on Instagram. We're just having fun with it. But I'm like, wow, I thought I was busy in prime season for work, and then to add a podcast and now Feral Golf, it's been fun. It's been fun to stay in the game.
Yeah, you're keeping yourself staying on your toes, keeping busy for sure.
Yeah. Not quite as busy as Katie with all of her stuff going on, but
All busy. We're all busy.
we all got problems,
We all-
Everyone has something.
Deep dive somewhere.
Yeah. All right. Now I see this thing on here. There's a ton of bullets. One of the ones that sticks out to me is Max Homa uses Marketplace. Anna, tell us more about that.
So you actually, I think, sent me that video, or maybe I sent it to you, but Max Homa had posted something. Let me pull it up. He posted something to Facebook Marketplace, and the guy posted it on Instagram, I want to say. Like, he showed up to Max Homa's house, I think not realizing whose house he was buying this, like, coffee table from. And Max Homa opens the door, and why are you using Marketplace, Max? Like, but also, a week later, he's a cool guy. He's carrying his own bag in a U.S. Open qualifier, competing like any other random guy who signed up for one and wants to play in the U.S. Open. So, I mean, he's a pretty down-to-earth dude, clearly. But the Facebook Marketplace thing really threw me that he's on there and you could just show up to his house at any given moment to buy
I
a
am
couch.
such a big fan of Max Homa. Even with him playing on like Bob Does Sports and showing up in the YouTube space, I love his vibe and just his character, and his swing roasts on I guess it's X now, are hilarious. Where people will tag him and say like roast my swing, and he just has no filter. It's just all gas on them. But imagine showing up or just like being on Facebook Marketplace and you're just like, yeah, this is a cool table, whatever. I don't even know how much a coffee table would be, like $100 or even free. I don't know. Let's just say free for the price aspect. But and then you show up and then it's Max Homa. It's just like, wait, why? What are you on here for?
What are you doing?
We'll have to put the video in here because it's pretty funny.
It is.
I think that was that on Zyre Golf or
It
where
was
was
on
that?
Zyre Golf.
So hilarious, so hilarious. Now there's another thing on here. Kind of, I'm assuming getting into Anna's work. You called a chip in.
No,
Tell us
that's
about
I want to say 2 weeks ago. So not the PGA event this weekend, but the weekend prior, I was just like hanging out watching the last round, and I don't know if you watched it at all, but it was Ben Griffin won, and I don't remember who he was playing with. They were on the last hole, and both of Ben Griffin and the guy he was playing with missed the green. The other guy's like kind of short sighted, not in the water, but like kind of on a hill going towards the water. And Ben Griffin has this like horrible stance to chip onto the green, and he needed to par. And at that point, I think he had like a two-shot lead or something. And the guy he's playing with, like right before it happens, I was like, man, it would be really crazy if he chipped in right now. Like it's not that hard of a shot. And then he does it. So that was neat. I called that. He still didn't win. Ben
What?
Griffin still managed to get up and down for his par and win the event. But I did call the chip in, so that was neat.
That's awesome. So now Anna is a psychic and she'll be starting her own psychic business. I think she's moving to Sedona
I'll be
to
doing
be one with
Instagram
the
reviews.
vortex.
Rocks and
Did you just say Instagram readings?
Good.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, so if you're wanting to, fund her business or get your Instagram read, reach out to Anna. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. All right. I think we kind of touched on some of the golf fashion and stuff with some of those golf boutiques and stuff, but you were previously talking about like Peter Millar. Do you want to get into that?
Yeah, so I was in a conversation I had this past week, so I can't really take credit for this idea. I'll lead with that. But Peter Millar, if you don't know, it has become kind of like the gold standard for a nicer brand in any like given pro shop. So it's a step above like a Nike or a FootJoy or an Under Armour, but it's not quite Shoes or Holderness and Bourne. But really, I mean, it's all the same shirt in like a slightly different color with a slightly different pattern. It's a great brand, but there's not much to it in terms of it being like unique. It's all the same. Every shop has the same thing, and now you can get it anywhere. Like where I used to live in South Carolina, you could walk. You didn't have to be at a pro shop to get something with a logo on it. You could just walk into any random like Belks or something and get a Peter Millar shirt. So it's not even unique to golf anymore. It's just a polo. And I heard someone say it's basically the modern day Ralph Lauren. It doesn't really mean anything, and it's marginally better quality than Nike. So like why even buy it to me like as a golf shop? Why carry it when you could have a Shoes or a Holderness or some of the local brands we were talking about? Like, if you're on the East Coast, a Harleston's, or if you're on the West Coast, like a Malbin or a Devereaux that's kind of unique to the Valley, or a Hana, I always forget the name of the other one, and I just did it again.
McCade.
No, not McCade, but we love McCade. The golf ball in the hole logo.
Radmore.
Radmore. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, from Washington. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
there's
so many great
so many.
brands out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like so coming up, I'll be playing in a member invitational or member guest here pretty soon, and just finding different outfits for like teams, right? It got me thinking about just how much the golf clothing area, I guess, department has grown. But to my point earlier, like you could just wear a golf skirt and golf clothes, and like very few people will question it unless you're like wearing golf shoes in Old Town Scottsdale. Yeah, that's also not uncommon. Yeah.
Which is crazy. All of that's crazy, but which is crazy because I remember being in college and like adamantly refusing to wear my clothes for practice to class because I was going to be weird, and so I had to pack a bag and change in the parking lot of the country club before I went to practice. And now
Yes,
it's
and
just
now
like popular fashion is to wear like a golf skirt and a little sleeveless polo.
yeah, it's like preppy cute is
Yeah.
like in.
It's crazy how that kind of stuff changes. I love to see it, but it's wild how it changes. And now golf is going to wearing t-shirts and gym shorts if you can get away with it, or leggings. So they've
True.
kind of switched reversed roles.
I should have worn my Seven Birdies shirt. I feel so bad now.
That was a missed
It's in the
opportunity.
laundry. It's dirty, but
I got another one too. I got the Hot Club coming your way. Listen, another brand, since we're talking about it, TJ Sport. They're doing a lot of really cool
yes.
movements and Tara's the lady that owns it's amazing. Also in Phoenix, so maybe a future person to have on the podcast. But she's great and like started the line to make women's golf clothes and have them sporty and like pockets in the right spots and like all these different things. But yeah, she's amazing. She's been a
You're
close friend of ours, and would be awesome to have on the pod and what she's doing for women's golf too.
absolutely. I had a short conversation with her a few months ago, but she is an awesome person,
Yeah.
and you are right. Like to the point of having the pockets in the right spot and just like the overall fit, I feel like is kind of hard to find. Now that there's more brands in the golf space, it's getting a little better. But yeah, just finding ones that fit either your specific body type or specifically like a more athletic body type where it's not to your knees or past your knees. We're kind of evolving in the golf space.
PJ Sport shorts have them in every color because I'm like, yeah, the more athletic build, and you get
Yeah.
like women's golf shorts that are not for the athletic build, and I'm like, nope, these aren't going around these thighs. That's what happened. And like once Tara gave me a pair of them, I'm like, I need these in every color because like these are bomb. The material, like the fit of them, I'm like, I live in them. So
All right. Well, you sold me. I'm gonna go buy some right
yeah,
now.
I got
Room
you.
tonight.
Got you.
Also, her she has a hoodie that's been in my online shopping cart forever, and I think I might pull the trigger on that just to support her. But I was recently at PGA Superstore, and I feel like the new thing in golf, or I guess it's kind of been a thing in golf recently, but hoodies in the golf space. Like before, it was like you couldn't have a hoodie. That was like out of dress code, or similar to like the collar. Your shirt must have a collar, and then Tiger Woods changed that. But TJ Sport has like a golf hoodie, which, bless you, I think is really cool. And not very many brands have a golf hoodie. I don't want to take too much time on that, but I'm gonna buy it.
Hoodies, joggers, big fan for
Love
those.
hoodies and joggers.
Chef's kiss.
I'm like,
Chef's
I wanna
kiss.
golf just because of those.
Now it's cozy and I can get behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like other options than just wearing a skirt or a dress, like something that's golfish or more golf focused, with the pockets and all that stuff, where most skirts still don't have pockets. And I'm like, you could only put so many things in your hair before you start just putting them up the skirt, and then things start
And
falling
that
out.
doesn't even really work.
Yeah. Like, where's my ball marker?
Yes. It
Yes.
frustrates me, like
Go to
even
the
looking
bathroom
at.
where you're like that.
Or your glove falls out of the
100%.
waistband.
Oh,
That's where you cannot find your ball marker until you go to the bathroom later, and you're like, oh, and now it's on the ground. Don't even know where it ended up in the spandex, but it was not on the side, and now it's on the ground.
you just pray that it's on the ground.
Literally.
Katie, is there anything that you want to add in relation to Seven Birdies? Any of your movements, where you're going to be, how they could find you, and other aspects?
Nothing that I don't, or to add. I think we kind of like covered it, and I just want to say thank you for having me on. Like, this was a lot of fun, hanging out with you guys and just having a chat and talking about all these cool things. So I really appreciate you guys bringing me on, and maybe down a couple months from now and everything's rolling again, we'll do another one and kind of do a little update.
I love it. You're always welcome back.
Well, thank you.
The first guest, I'm so happy that it was you. You're doing amazing things in the golf world, and we're truly excited to see where everything goes.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. You guys too.
And thank you for watching another edition of Over Par and Underqualified. Stay tuned for our upcoming podcasts. We are now live on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube, and follow us on Instagram at Over Par and Underqualified.
Wait, what am I saying?